So last night, probably about 20 other content creators and 50 people on Twitter all gathered around the TV to watch the premiere of Batwoman Season 2. I somehow managed to make it through the entire episode, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you what other people are saying about the show. I'm sure that you're very, very excited for this arc to begin. I am, because I don't expect much from this show. As I've said time and time again, you can change whoever you want in front of the camera. Nothing's going to change unless you make some changes behind the camera. This episode just straight up was a mess, and I'll get into why. First off, the music for this show is really, really cringe. Who makes these choices? They have this girl band that will sing every time something happens, like when she gets the shoes, like, I feel power rising. It's really terrible and cringy, kind of like what I just sounded like, except, I'm like here for a 9-minute video. This is like, I would imagine, at least a couple $1 million production show. You couldn't do a little bit better than hiring like a band that hangs out at the coffee shop and sings on open mic night. It's just really weird. But let's go through some of the problems here real quick. At the start of the episode, we get introduced to Ryan Wilder, who actually introduces herself to other characters later in the show like this. The name's Wilder. Ryan. Like she's James Bond. It starts off with her in her van. She's just chilling, hanging out with her plant. The plant is a very central piece to the character. But a girl in her plant, hashtag van life. But she's hanging out there, and then all of a sudden, with the worst CGI in the world, a plane crashes right next to her. No damage to the van whatsoever. She walks out and finds the bat suit perfectly. Like there's barely, anything that's happened to it amongst the whole wreckage of a plane. Kate Kane is presumed dead. There's no body. I don't know what they're going to do with her because Ruby Rose isn't coming back. And they don't want to say that she's dead because it'll piss off a bunch of people that they call it a trope of like taking out an LBG character to make way for a new one or something. I guess that's something that's happened on shows before. So when they originally said she wasn't coming back, they assured people they weren't going to kill her off. It kind of seems like they killed her off. So I'm sure people will get upset about that. I don't know what you're going to do to bring her back. I will say this about Javicia Leslie. She's a much better actress than Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose had like one facial expression the entire first season. It's one of the many problems with that show for the first season. She has like the default resting bitch face. That's it. It never changes. She had like no range. I don't know if that's because she just didn't want to be there. I'm sure that had something to do with it, but she was just as flat as Brie Larson the entire season. There's more range from this actress in this one episode than Ruby Rose showed the entire season. So I will say that she's a much better actress. They should have just casted her for season 1, or at least somebody with her range. Who knows how that show would have turned out? I don't think it would have helped it because the writers are trash, but at least it would have made it a little bit better. She's a much better actress. So after she gets the bat suit, Ryan Wilder, you get it, Wilder, because she's wild and unhinged. Get it? You get it? You get the clever pun? So she puts on the bat suit and immediately goes and starts to fight crime. She's good at it too, because there's one line where she goes to see, I don't know if it's her probation officer or social worker or what. She goes and sees her and she says, can you find a job being a karate instructor at a dojo? So boom, we set up. Oh, she's taking some martial arts classes. Wow, I didn't know anybody that takes martial arts classes can immediately become a vigilante of the night and immediately start taking down killer thugs in an alleyway. I mean, Bruce Wayne had to train for years to become a badass, but she picks it up in 30 seconds. I guess it's the power of women. Definitely makes her better than any man. See, in these kinds of shows, a woman with 2 days of self-defense classes can automatically take down a man that's been trained for 15 years in martial arts. So you have to kind of take that in, right? So it's just funny. They show her get hit once or twice, but then she just whoops everybody's ass. It's terribly done, and it's another reason why this show's not going to be successful, because the writers just don't know what they're doing. I don't know what these people did before they made the show, but they should have never been given this show. They clearly have no idea what the hell they're doing. The one thing they did do well, though, and I do want to give them some credit, is they did do a good job of tying Ryan Wilder to Kate Kane's sister, Alice. Apparently, when her and her foster mom or adopted mother, whatever the way they set it up, move into their new place, there's some squatters there that turned out to be part of the Alice Wonderland gang, and they kill her mother, and she wants vengeance. The way they did set that up, that actually wasn't a bad way to do it. That's probably the best writing they've ever done. But they quickly lose it really, really fast, because they instantly kill off Hush. Well, they ship him back to Arkham Asylum because Ryan Wilder, you get it, Wilder, she beats the shit out of him at the end of the episode. Like, his face came off when she was like beating him into the ground, and he gets shipped back to Arkham Asylum immediately. And it's like, how do you throw that away? That was actually there was so much potential to do a whole season of Thomas Elliot masquerading as Bruce Wayne. Like, there's so many things you could have done with that, and you just shipped him off immediately. It just is a strange decision to just throw away a good plot thread like that, because they built that up like that was going to be a big threat all season for this guy, and they just tossed him away. It's very strange. It really didn't make any sense, other than to maybe establish that Ryan Wilder, you get it, was just a badass and was able to take down one of Bruce Wayne's biggest villains, which Thomas Elliot for sure is. He was just an afterthought. Another big nitpick for me is the Batmobile, which is pretty much just a C7 Corvette with an aftermarket hood and matte black paint. It's pretty much it. It's even got rear view mirrors. This is the laziest, absolutely the laziest looking Batmobile I've ever seen. They gave it like a bat spoiler, an aftermarket hood, and matte paint. And that's pretty much the entire episode. It's a mess. It closes with her hanging out with her plant. I think the plant was her mom's plant or something. She calls it Mom. It's like they watched Castaway and decided to make like Tom Hanks and Wilson a central part of this character. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Tom Hanks lives alone on an island, and to give himself a companion, he draws a face on a volleyball and calls it Wilson, because, you know, it's a Wilson ball or whatever. It's like they watched that movie and said, well, let's give that to Ryan Wilder and make it a central part of the character. And it's just, it's so cringy, kind of like the season will be. So, you know, the episode was a mess. I will say that she's a much better actress than Ruby Rose. Well, like I said, I just don't think they're going to be able to do anything with this. And it would seem that I'm not the only one that has that opinion. As you can see over on Rotten Tomatoes, the user score as of right now is sitting at 45%. You have 38 users. A couple of the positive reviews are like, this show slaps islamophobia in the face. And then you have some people saying it's stunning and brave. And then you've got a lot of people pointing out the facts that the show is a mess and it has a lot of finger-waving dialogue, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So I'm looking forward to this trash fire, and I think it's going to be something we can visit quite a bit for content, because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of articles telling fans that don't like this show that they're islamophobes, and every episode is going to be progressively worse. So it'll be fun to just review it, talk about the ratings as well, because these ratings, I'm telling you, prepare for the first episode to have a big turn in, because people are curious. A lot of people are going to come back that ditched this show to see how it all plays out of curiosity, and we'll go. It's only going to go down from there. So It's going to be a good time. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think. Did you like the show? Did you think it was good? Tell me in the comments. Also, if you would, like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.